Hello everyone, welcome to the lecture of microengineering. It's lecture number 6. It is about input impedance and equivalent circuit behavior of a transmission line. So previous to this lecture, what we have done was we have seen that we have defined certain parameter in the last lecture. So before this lecture we have seen reflection coefficient, that is denoted by capital gamma L. So this will be the reflection coefficient at the load. So that is equal to reflected voltage divided by incident voltage, and if it is generalized reflection coefficient at any point on line, then that will be ratio of V minus divided by V plus, that is reflected voltage divided by incident voltage into e raised to minus 2 beta L. Now we have defined in last lecture we have defined one more parameter, that is if we want to define impedance, that is reflection coefficient in terms of an impedance, then we have defined in terms of a load impedance, that is ZL minus Z0 divided by ZL plus Z0, and we have seen three conditions, where in first condition, that is ZL is equal to Z0, that corresponds to perfect match, we have seen that the reflection coefficient will be equal to 0 in case of perfect match, while in case of an imperfect match, or when in a worst case, that is a short circuited line or an open circuited line, we have reflection coefficient is equal to 1. So the value of reflection coefficient is always, that is the magnitude of reflection coefficient is always from 0 to 1. Well, 0 corresponds to perfect match, where that will be equal to ZL is equal to Z0, and 1 corresponds to ZL is equal to either 0 or ZL is equal to infinity. ZL is equal to 0 or ZL is equal to infinity. And from this we have seen that we had a transmission line. This is our transmission line, and this was our load end, and this was our source end. So when ZL is equal to, so Z0 is our characteristic impedance and ZL is our load impedance. We have seen that when ZL is not equal to Z0, when there is a characteristic impedance and load impedance are not equal, so what will happen? So we have seen that because of that, the two traveling wave, one is going in forward direction and second one is going in reverse direction, they will add up at each and every location and it will form an impedance. So at each and every location we will have a different impedance. Then from this we have seen that because of this, the algebraic summation of these two wave will takes place and it will form a standing wave pattern like this. So this will be the fixed pattern, so its name is standing wave pattern. Now because of standing wave pattern, it will have some maximum voltage and it will have some minimum voltage. We have defined one more parameter that was called VSWR, that is voltage standing wave ratio. The ratio of voltage, the V stands for voltage, ratio of voltage. So voltage standing wave ratio, where we have to see, we have to see in a standing wave which is formed because of the mismatch in a impedance. So whenever there will be mismatch in a impedance, it will form a standing wave, it will have some maxima and minima. The ratio of that maxima and minima is called voltage standing wave ratio. So V max divided by V min, in our case that will be the voltage standing wave ratio, and we have derived it is equal to 1 plus gamma L, that is 1 plus magnitude of reflection coefficient minus divided by 1 minus magnitude of reflection coefficient. So that was our VSWR. Once again we have seen from this that the VSWR corresponds to its value, since it is the ratio of Vmax by Vmin. Now minimum voltage is always less than maximum voltage, so it is always less than 1 because it is ratio of Vmax by Vmin. So it is always greater than 1 because Vmin is in a denominator. It means this ratio will be always greater than 1, and the range of the VSWR is always from 1 to infinity. So since this is in terms of a reflection coefficient, so what we have seen is the reflection coefficient is 0 for ZL is equal to Z0. It means for a perfect match the reflection coefficient is 0. When we substitute this, then it will be 1 by 1. So VSWR is equal to 1, which corresponds to perfect match. So VSWR 1 means perfect match, while VSWR infinity will result whenever there will be reflection coefficient is equal to 1, and the reflection coefficient is equal to 1 when there is either open circuit or a short circuit. So when we will substitute the reflection coefficient is equal to 1 in this equation, it will result into 1 upon, this will be 1 plus 1, so 2 divided by 1 minus 1, that will be 0. 2 divided by 0, that will be equal to infinity. So infinity, VSWR infinity corresponds to reflection coefficient is equal to 1, which will be equal to the reflection coefficient of a worst case condition, that will be either open circuited line or a short circuited line. Next we will see, we have derived the voltage and current equations, and we have seen lossless transmission line, and for lossless transmission line we have a condition, that is R is equal to G is equal to 0. That was the condition for lossless transmission line. Lossless transmission line. When R is equal to G is equal to 0, it means all the loss components are 0, which result alpha is equal to 0 and beta is equal to, where alpha is our attenuation constant, so no attenuation because there are no loss, so alpha is equal to 0, while the phase shift constant we have derived, that will be equal to j omega under root L into C. So our propagation constant small gamma, that will be equal to alpha plus j beta. It tells that there are no attenuation constant, then only imaginary term will be there. For wave, which is the wave propagating in a lossless line, it will have only imaginary portion of a propagation constant. As well as the impedance we have calculated, the impedance was Z is equal to under root L by C. So impedance is always real quantity in case of a lossless line. So we have seen alpha is equal to 0, then Z0 is equal to under root L by C, that will be the real quantity. So Z, or you can say the characteristic impedance of a lossless line, is always a real quantity, while the beta is the this imaginary portion of our propagation constant. So there will be only a imaginary portion of a propagation constant in a lossless line. Now we have a voltage and current equation. So we have seen V max is equal to 1 plus reflection coefficient and V min is equal to 1 plus reflection coefficient. Also we have seen in previous lecture that VL, that is voltage at any point on a line, that will be equal to Z0 1 plus magnitude of 1 plus reflection coefficient. This is the reflection coefficient at a load. The capital gamma L is reflection coefficient at a load, where L is equal to 0, where we were taking the load point as our reference point, into e raised to minus 2 JBL. Previously it was only capital gamma L e raised to minus 2 J omega, small omega, where we have substituted omega is equal to alpha plus J beta, and we have seen for the lossless line alpha is equal to 0, so it will be e raised to minus 2 JBL. Similarly for the current, we have IL is equal to Z0, it will be V divided by Z0, it will be 1 minus reflection coefficient e raised to minus 2jBl. So this is for current. Now if you want to find out the impedance at any point on line, we have already seen this. So we'll take the ratio of voltage divided by current. It will give us the impedance at any point on line, that is Z0 time 1 plus reflection coefficient at the load e raised to minus 2 JBL divided by 1 minus reflection coefficient at the load e raised to minus 2 J beta L. Now we'll substitute. We know this reflection coefficient is equal to ZL minus Z0 divided by ZL plus Z0, where ZL is our load impedance and Z0 is our characteristic impedance. So we'll substitute this value of reflection coefficient in our equation of impedance. So this will tell us, so we'll modify it, Z0 times 1 plus, we'll substitute here, this will be ZL minus Z0 divided by ZL plus Z0 into e raised to minus 2j beta L divided by 1 minus, once again we will substitute here, ZL plus Z0 divided by, sorry, it will be ZL minus Z0 divided by ZL plus Z0 e raised to minus 2j beta L. Now we will simplify this. So for simplification, what we'll do, okay, let's simplify this. So now this will be, we'll multiply this with ZL by Z0. So Z0 will be common. It will be, is it visible? Yes. Okay, so it will be ZL plus Z0. It will not be visible, plus ZL plus Z0, sorry, let's take the new page. So we'll simplify this and it will be equal to, so Z0 is constant. Now this ZL into Z0, 1 into ZL plus Z0 plus ZL minus Z0 into e raised to minus 2j beta L. Similarly, here also we will take ZL plus Z0 common. So this will be ZL plus Z0 minus ZL minus Z0 into e raised to minus 2j beta L. Now we'll take e raised to minus JBL common. Since there are no e raised to JBL term in this portion, so we'll take, first take e raised to minus j beta L common. So what will happen is, so what will happen if you take e raised to JBL common? So it will be equal to Z0 is as it is, so it will be ZL minus, sorry, it will be plus ZL plus Z0 e raised to minus JBL into e raised to plus JBL. So that will be equal to e raised to JBL minus JBL, so e raised to 0, anything raised to 0 is equal to 1, and here we'll have ZL minus Z0 into e raised to minus J2 BL. Similarly, at denominator also we'll do same thing, e raised to minus jbl into e raised to plus jbl plus zl minus z0 e raised to minus j2bl. Now once we got this, we'll take e raised to minus jbl common. So what will happen? So this will be z0. Now e raised to jbl is common, minus j beta l. So this will be, here you will have a it will be zl e raised to plus jbl, simply it will be zl plus z0 time e raised to minus plus jbl, and here we'll have zl minus z0 time e raised to minus jbl. Similarly, here also we are taking e raised to jbl minus jbl common, so we'll have zl plus z0 times e raised to minus jbl plus jbl, because we have taken minus jbl out of the bracket. So now we'll have a set minus, so it will be minus zl minus z0 e raised to minus jbl, because one jbl we have taken out of the bracket. Now to further simplify this, so this will be equal to when we simplify this, this will be equal to z0 e raised to jbl, e raised to jbl will cancel, and we'll take the coefficient of e raised to, so we'll take zl common from this, so zl is common in this too, so it will be e raised to plus jbl plus e raised to minus j beta l, and we'll take z0 common, so it will be e raised to plus jbl minus e raised to minus jbl. Similarly, at the denominator we'll have, once again we'll take zl common, so it will be e raised to jbl, here it will be minus, so it will be e raised to minus jbl. Then we'll take z0 common, so z0 e raised to plus jbl minus, so it will become minus minus will be plus, so it will be e raised to minus jbl. Now we know that e raised to jx plus e raised to minus jx, that will be equal to cos theta, 2 cos theta, while e raised to jbl minus e raised to minus 2 jbl minus jbl will be equal to 2 sin bl. So we'll write so this will be equal to z0, this is zl. Now this will be equal to cos bl, it will be equal to 2 cos bl, but everywhere when we'll take 2 common from everywhere, it will be cancelled out, so we'll only write it will be equal to cos beta l, and here it will be equal to z0 time e raised to, this is e raised to jbl minus e raised to minus jbl, so this corresponds to 2j sin bl. So we'll write, because 2 will cancel out when we will take common from each and every term, so 2 will cancel out, so it will be j sin beta l. Similarly, at the denominator we'll have zl, here we'll have a cos term, sorry, it will be J sin beta L and plus Z0, this will be cos beta L. This is very important derivation. You can see this. This is, see, we'll still simplify this, but this is very important in general. Why? We'll see. So let us take cos BL common. We'll still simplifying this. What is this? This is the impedance at any point. You are seeing impedance from one point of the line, and the second point how it will look in terms of a length of a line. That is the impedance, or you can say the input impedance of a transmission line. So input impedance is always Z0 times some impedance, and that impedance is given by this one. So we'll further solve this. This will be, let us take cos beta L common out of this equation. So cos beta L here I will take, and in bracket it will be ZL cos beta L divided by ZL cos beta L. So it will be equal to ZL. Here it will be Z0 J sin beta L divided by cos beta L. So that will be equal to Z0 J, cos by sin is 10, so that will be equal to Z0 J 10 beta L. Similarly, in denominator also we will take cos BL common. So the cos BL in a numerator and cos BL beta L in a denominator will cancel out. So I haven't written that cos BL common from this term because this will cancel out. So I will write this as a ZL, or simply JZL sin beta L divided by cos beta L, that will be equal to 10 beta L, and here it will be Z0 cos beta L divided by cos beta L, that will be equal to Z0. This is our impedance at any point. This will be, you can say, this will be the input impedance of a transmission, lossless transmission line. Input impedance of lossless transmission line. Input impedance of a lossless transmission line. Now from this we'll have some conclusion. Look at this equation very carefully. What does it say? ZL, or input at, sorry, the impedance I will write instead of ZL, I will write ZA. That will be input impedance at any point on a line will be equal to, it is multiplication of Z0 times some impedance, which is ZL plus JZ0 J10BL divided by JZL 10BL plus Z0. Now once again we will take some special cases. Let us take, this is our equation and we want to elaborate more, so we will take special cases for input impedance. So what are these special cases? First let us take ZL is equal to short circuit. Our load is short circuit, or you can say simply that will be equal to 0. So ZL is equal to 0 represent short circuit. Now we will substitute ZL is equal to 0 in this equation. So what does this will give? Zn is equal to Z0 as it is, ZL is 0 plus Z0 J 10 beta L divided by JZL is 0, so this term will be 0 divided by Z0. So what will happen? This will be equal to Z in, or you can say Z short circuit, that is the impedance of a short circuited transmission line will be given by JZ0 tan beta L. This is impedance of a short circuited transmission line. This will be impedance of short circuited transmission line. Now for the second case, we will take ZL is equal to infinity, or you can say this will be our open circuit case. ZL is equal to infinity, we are having an infinite impedance. The infinite impedance is possible only if the circuit is open circuited. So we'll have, once again we'll substitute ZL is equal to infinity here, but before we have to make some adjustment. So this will be, let us take Z0, will take ZL common from this equation, we will take ZL common, so it will be 1 plus Z0 divided by ZL and multiply by tan beta L, and denominator also will take ZL common, so this will be J tan beta L plus Z0 by ZL. Now we will substitute ZL is equal to infinity. So what it will give is Z0 time, it will be ZL will cancel out, so this will be 1 plus anything divided by 0, anything divided by infinity is 0 divided by J tan BL plus 0. So this will be equal to, it will be equal to minus this J will go in numerator, so this will be minus J, this 10 will be equal to cot BL, this is in numerator, and if this is in denominator. So if we want in a reverse of this, 1 upon 10 BL is cot BL, so this will be equal to cot beta L into Z0, so this will be minus Z0J cot BL. So for short circuited transmission line, we are having, for short circuited transmission line we are having the impedance is equal to JZ0 tan beta L, while for open circuited transmission line we are having impedance of a open circuited transmission line equal to minus JZ0 cot beta L. Now what is this beta? Beta is phase shift constant, that is equal to, beta is equal to 2 pi by lambda. And what is this L? L is, this is our transmission line whose length is, this is transmission line, so the length of transmission line is L. So at this L represent the length of transmission line, or the point L is equal to something. So this will be the open circuited transmission line. These are very important parameter. For short circuited line we are having impedance that is given by JZ0 tan BL, while for open circuited line we are having impedance that will be given by minus JZ0 cot BL. Now what do you see from this? What this equation tell? What are the meaning of this equation? You can see this parameter, or you can say this impedance, are a imaginary impedance. So if we are having a open circuited or a short circuited transmission line, we will always get impedance that will be imaginary. So we will get imaginary impedance if we will have a transmission line which is open circuited or short circuited. The next thing is, if let us take we are having some length of transmission line which is either open circuit or short circuit. and I want to find out what kind of impedance does it offer. So we can see that this tan BL, we know the curve of sine, cos, tan, cot, everything. So the curve of a tan BL is, this is an infinite curve. The value of tan BL is infinity. The maximum value is infinity because sine tan BL is what? Sine BL upon cos BL. So sine BL will be, let us take, that will be at a at this BL is equal to 0. So sine 0 divided by cos 0. Sine 0 is 0. So divided by cos 0. Cos 0 is 1. So 0 divided by 1, that will be equal to 0. So for BL is equal to 0, this tan term will be equal to 0. And let us take BL is equal to pi by 2 or BL is equal to 90 degree. So what will happen? Sine 90 is 1 while cos 90 is 0. So 1 upon 0, that will be equal to infinity. So the value of this curve will be from minus infinity to plus infinity. The tan BL is from minus infinity to plus infinity. You can see here, this I have drawn for, this is for cot BL and this is for tan BL. So this lower side, this is the positive Jx, this is Jx, imaginary impedance Jx, because these are imaginary term. So the impedance is, this axis represent impedance while this axis represent beta L. So this curve, you can see, this is for tan BL and this is for cot BL. Now when L is equal to, let us say L is equal to 0. So what will happen? L is equal to 0 means cot 0. Cot 0 means cos 0 divided by sine 0. So cot 0 is what? Cot 0 is infinite, and here we are having a minus sign. So it will start from minus infinity. So if you want to draw the input impedance of a open circuited transmission line, so it will start from minus infinity, because cot 0 is 0, cot 0 is infinite, and we are having a minus sign here, so it will start from minus infinity. So this curve is asymptotic curve. It will start from minus infinity and it will converge at, let us take beta L is equal to pi by 2. When it will happen? When length of line is equal to lambda by 4. We'll see how it is happening. When beta is equal to, let us take length of line is equal to lambda by 4. So beta is equal to, so beta is our 2 pi by lambda, and the length of transmission line is lambda by 4. So what will happen? This 2 will cancel out and this will be, so beta L is equal to pi by 2 when the length of line is equal to lambda by 4. Beta L is equal to pi by 2 when length of line is equal to lambda by 4. So what will happen? You can see here. So for cot BL will have the impedance curve is like this, and this impedance is the imaginary impedance. So you can see that it is starting from minus infinity to, it is going up to plus infinity. So the important observation is, we can have any possible impedance, that is imaginary impedance, whose value can be from minus infinity to plus infinity. So we can have any parameter whose impedance is minus infinity to plus infinity. So we can design any circuit whose imaginary impedance is from minus infinity to infinity, is either using the short circuited transmission line, or you can see here for, sorry, this was for open circuited transmission line, but for short circuited transmission line, let us take L is equal to 0. It means sine 0 divided by cos 0. So sine 0 is 0 and cos 0 is 1. So this value will be 0. So it will start from 0 and it will goes up to infinity. Similarly, for pi by 2, it will start from minus infinity to, and it will, as beta will increase, it will goes up to plus infinity. So by using either open circuited transmission line or short circuited transmission line, will get the value of impedance can be from minus infinity to infinity. Now we will elaborate further. Let us take, I want to make some equivalent circuit parameter from this line. I want to match the transmission line. So somewhere I want inductive impedance and somewhere I want capacitive impedance. So since this line is from minus infinity to infinity, so it represent either the capacitive or inductive kind of a impedance. So we can see that if we are having an open circuited transmission line, this is for open circuited transmission line and this will be for the short circuited transmission line. Now if we have a transmission line whose length is less than lambda by 4, so length less than lambda by 4 corresponds to this quadrant. So you can see this is negative impedance. So this is minus jx curve. So minus jx corresponding to, we know that the XL, or you can say the impedance, capacitive impedance XL, XC is equal to minus, simply it will be equal to 2 pi 1 upon 2 pi FC, while for inductive we are having 2 pi FL. This is, so sorry, this will be 1 upon J2 pi FC and this is J2 pi FL. So when it will go to this numerator, XC will be equal to minus J2 pi FC. Sorry, yes. So this represent when our impedance is minus quantity, it means that will be a capacitive one. If impedance is positive, then that will be, so if it is terms of a positive imaginary line, imaginary term, then that will be corresponding to inductive kind of a line. So we'll see here, this is our negative impedance. So this corresponds to capacitance. So if we are having a open circuited transmission line and the length of transmission line is less than lambda by 4, then that will be equal to, that will, we can use that portion of a transmission line as a capacitance. Similarly, if let us take the length line of a open circuited line, the length is equal to lambda by 4. When it is equal to lambda by 4, what will happen? This will become pi by 2. So beta L will become pi by 2 and our impedance will, the impedance will become real and this will be equal to 0. So this will become 0. It means we are having a 0 impedance if we will have a transmission line of open circuited transmission line of length lambda by 4. Now when the 0 impedance will take place, let us take, we are having a circuit and we are having a component RLC in our circuit and the impedance is 0. So what, when impedance will be equal to 0, when it will happen? The impedance is 0, we are having a RLC in a circuit. So this will be equal to the series RLC. Simply this will be equal to series connection of, if it is a, when it will be series circuit, then when ZL is equal to ZC, ZL is equal to ZC, when will goes on increasing the frequency, ZL is equal to ZC, then at that time we are having a only pure impedance, we are having a minimum impedance of a line. So we'll get a minimum impedance if our length line, this open circuited transmission line, the length will be equal to lambda by 4. So we'll get a series LC connection. So this will behave equivalently as a series LC connection. So lump equivalent of a lump, these are lump equivalent, lump circuit equivalent of lump circuit equivalent behavior of transmission line. So when it is smaller than lambda by 4, the open circuited transmission line is smaller than lambda by 4, it will behave as a capacitive impedance. When it is equal to lambda by 4, it will behave as a series RLC circuit, while when it is from lambda by 4 to 2 lambda, and then the beta L will be equal to, if it is equal to 2 lambda, then beta L will be equal, lambda by 4 to lambda, then beta will be equal to pi, beta L will be equal to pi. So when the line of the length of open circuited transmission line is from lambda by 4 to lambda, then it will behave as a, this is a positive impedance, positive imaginary impedance. So this will behave as a inductance. It will behave as a pure inductance if the length of open circuited transmission line is greater than lambda by 4 but less than lambda, then it will behave as a inductance. Similarly, when it is equal to lambda, then beta L will be equal to pi. So what will happen when the open circuited transmission line, the length is exactly equal to lambda, then beta L will be equal to pi. So what will happen? The impedance is, you can say this is going to infinity, here it is going to infinity. So the impedance is infinite, and when infinite impedance will take place in a RLC circuit, when we are having a parallel RLC circuit, at that time the impedance will be, at the resonance the impedance will be infinite. So the lump circuit equivalent behavior of transmission line when length is greater than lambda by 4 and less than lambda, it will be equal to lambda, then it will behave as a parallel LC circuit. It will be resonating parallel LC circuit. Similarly, if length is greater than lambda but it is less than lambda plus lambda by 4, that will be equal to, this will be lambda plus lambda by 4, so it will be 4 lambda plus lambda, that will be 5 lambda by 4, then it will behave once again as a capacitive, and so on. If the curve is this side, this will behave as a capacitive, this will be inductive, and so on. Similarly, for a short circuited transmission line, we can see that when the length of line is less than lambda by 4, so what will happen? This beta L is less than, beta L is equal to pi by 2 when length is equal to lambda by 4. So when this is less than lambda by 4, what will happen is, this will, the equivalent behavior, lump equivalent behavior of this short circuited transmission line will be equal to, this is, since this is a positive impedance, then this will behave as a inductor, pure inductor, in if the length of short circuited transmission line is smaller than lambda by 4. Similarly, if the length of transmission line is greater than lambda by 4, then it will behave as a capacitor, because this is a negative impedance, then this will behave as a capacitance. At length is equal to lambda by 4, then it will, the circuit equivalent model will be equal to, we have already discussed, this will be equal to the parallel RLC or parallel LC circuit, or you can say tank circuit, because the impedance will be equal to infinity, or you can say very high impedance. The high impedance is possible when we are having the parallel connection of L and C. Similarly, the impedance will be 0 when line length is equal to lambda, or when beta L is equal to 3 pi by 2, the impedance will be equal to 0, and that will be possible when we are having series connection of L and C. So we have seen that we can achieve any possible impedance, that is the imaginary impedance, if we can either use open circuited transmission line or a short circuited transmission line. So we are going to use this very important observation in our next lecture, when we will see the Smith chart as well as when we will see the impedance matching using the open circuited and short circuited transmission line. At that time, once again we will recall this and we will see, first of all, these two are very important equation. You have to memorize this, and you must understand the importance of these two equation, which corresponds to impedance of a short circuited transmission line and impedance of a open circuited transmission line. Then this should come in your mind. Well, so we can, once you got this, we know that the impedance can be anything. It will be from minus infinity to plus infinity, and we can realize any impedance using either open circuited transmission line or a short circuited transmission line. So in this lecture, what we have seen is, we have started with, we have seen, for lossless line we have calculated the impedance, that is the input impedance, by substituting the reflection coefficient of a transmission line. We have substituted that and we have simplified, and we obtain the input impedance of line, and from that we have further simplified this and we got the input impedance of a short circuited and open circuited transmission line. Once we know that, we have physical meaning of what is the meaning of, if line length, the length of line is less than lambda by 4 or greater than lambda by 4, or any length of line, how it will behave, or what will be the equivalent, lump equivalent of this kind of a transmission line. So for any query, if you are having any query, you can contact me on my my email ID, that is balwantmakwana@gmail.com. It is Balwant Makwana. You can contact me on my official ID, balwantmakwana@gecrajkot.ac.in. Thank you very much.